This is easily one of the biggest misconceptions that I see people get into, thinking that stretching alone will heal your pelvic floor dysfunction. This keeps people stuck for many years, sadly. I'm Michael Hodge. I'm the co-creator of Overcome Pelvic Pain. I've been helping men overcome pelvic floor dysfunction and other issues for years. And this is something that I run into all the time, and honestly that I ran into myself. What happens is that you get some big gains early on. When you start to do pelvic floor stretches, you're like, wow, I'm feeling some relief. I'm feeling some of the tension go away. And you think, if I just keep doing this, and it's going to heal. If I just keep doing, maybe if I stretch twice a day, maybe if I do more of it, it will heal even faster. And there's some sort of compounding effect. This becomes an illusion that will keep people stuck in this cycle, sadly, for quite some time. Stretching is just the mechanical, just the neuromuscular side. You need to address all of you, the holistic, total you, in order to see big changes. Now, let's first take a look at the fact that many people just address the symptoms and not the root cause. They might not even know what the root cause is. But it's just the tip of the iceberg when you experience pain. So you might have pain in your perineum. You might have pain in your testicle, your penis. You might have pain after ejaculation. You might have pain while sitting. You might not have very much pain though. You're like, I don't really have pain, but I have overactive bladder, and I've got some sexual dysfunction issues, and I've got other things going on, dysfunction. So it could be that, like urinary hesitancy, urinary frequency. It could be difficulty with your erections, or ejaculating too fast, or a variety of other possibilities. That's not normal. So that's dysfunction. But what's below that, what's beneath it, is tension. This underlying tension, typically in your pelvic floor muscles and surrounding muscle groups, that's holding. It's this holding pattern that if you hold on for too long, your muscles are like, wow, something's got to give. And that leads to the dysfunction, the pain, as well as a messenger to make a change. But you might not even notice the tension. Many people, when they get into discovering the pelvic floor dysfunction, first of all, oftentimes they're misdiagnosed by a urologist that this is prostatitis. They're just simply doing the best that they can, maybe misdiagnosed by some other physicians. And then they end up realizing, wow, this is chronic non-bacterial prostatitis, or CPPS, or pelvic floor dysfunction. And in this case, there is this underlying tension that needs to be recognized and released through things like stretching or physical therapy, trigger point release, massages, but also what's even causing the tension. Because even if you let go of it, it can just return. And we go down a level, upregulated nervous system. So an upregulated nervous system does create tension in the body. It tenses the muscles. That's part of the sympathetic nervous system response. That's totally normal. But if it gets stretched out for months or even years, that's central sensitization. That's a long-term upregulated fight or flight holding pattern that it becomes a new normal, a very unhealthy, very detrimental new normal. But why is that even happening? Why is your nervous system upregulated? That's the root cause. Now, it could be multiple things. It could be literally eating foods that are highly inflammatory. It could be being very stressed out and very fearful and anxious. It could be they have social anxiety disorder or some sort of mental health challenges that you do need to work through as well. It could be things such as unresolved emotions or relationships. There's a lot of possibilities that can lead then to that cascading effect, to what you only see as the pain or the dysfunction. So stretching alone won't get you to that place of healing and wholeness. And I know, because I dealt with pelvic floor dysfunction for 5 years. It was the hardest thing I've ever gone through my entire life. And I had to learn this the hard way. And now I help people to go through it and learn this in a much faster period of time, which is an incredible reason for me to be alive. So the first area is mechanical, and the next area is chemical. The third area of change is neurological. So that first area is mechanical, and that's how many people kind of get stuck there, doing mechanical therapies. So what I mean is things that work with the musculoskeletal system, neuromuscular system. They're doing stretches, you might be doing physical therapy, maybe massages, you might do dry needling, you might do acupuncture. Acupuncture also does involve some energetic meridians, but you might be doing something else that is working with your body, working with the muscles, working with exercises and movement. And that's good, it's a great foundation. We do need to do that, but we don't want to only do that. So another area to look at is chemical. So the chemistry inside of you. And this involves what you're consuming, what are you drinking, what are you eating, what are you inhaling, what's in your environment, what are you putting on your skin, what are you consuming beyond food? I mean, are you taking pharmaceuticals? Are you taking prescription medicines? There are things that are changing the chemistry inside of you, and that can make it harder for your body to heal itself. So we must look at things like the gut-brain connection. And whenever you're eating foods over and over and over again, you're not even noticing it, but it's creating inflammation. It's creating digestive challenges. It's creating a tightness and a tension connecting the pelvic floor to the lower abdominal muscles, deferring pain and problems down low. So there are a lot of possibilities and connection in this area that must be addressed. In the Overcome Pelvic Pain program, we have all of that guidance for you, the nutrition, we have the movement routines, and of course then the third area, which is big, neurological. This is really neurology, so the nervous system, the brain connection, also psychology, and that's mind, the brain in action. So it's the actual hardware, the brain itself, the nervous system, and the software of what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Because if you keep thinking the same thoughts and feeling the same emotions that you have been for the last couple of years, but you start stretching each morning and you change your diet, you might have a little bit of a shift, but you'll just fall back to who you were. You're going to fall back to the same patterns because you didn't really shift what was required for your root cause to be uprooted and cleared out and cleansed. So how do we change neurologically? Neurologically, you can do things like self-hypnosis, or you can go to a hypnotist, and it's not like this stage form of hypnotism, it's a medically proven form of subconscious reprogramming. So there's that. You can do rewiring meditations, you can do breath work. There are things like yoga, qigong, other energy practices that connect the mind and the body, and they get you thinking and feeling a different way, and they also are down-regulating your nervous system, activating the parasympathetic, a lot of things that are required there. So you have a lot to think about now. You're like, okay, I need to make sure I'm doing things in the mechanical and the chemical and the neurological area. By all means, it's important. Don't overwhelm yourself. You don't want to make your whole life just about healing. That's not the point. But also, you don't have to figure it all out on your own. That's literally why Dr. Brianne Grogan and we created the Overcome Pelvic Pain program. It's a 12-week fully guided system that has 12 different movement routines. Each week there's a new one. There's a nutrition guide for month 1, 2, and 3. Month 1, 2, and 3, there's mindset. There are mind-body practices that you do to neurologically rewire and fire neural circuitry and change your neural pathways. So it's all in there. I'd love to have you in the program and Overcome Pelvic Pain, and I will see you again soon.